friend just told me they made 600 quid. She told me she made 600 quid from a live stream. It wasn't her live stream, like she joined somebody else's and like no face. We talked about it the other day before she did it, and I was like, I don't think I could do it. Just, if I was doing a very low-key job and if I was living a very low-key life, then yeah, maybe, yeah. But because of where I want to go and the vision I have for myself, it's not beneficial to me and my brand. And, if I was to get there and then I was to be, because I think about all these podcast talks that I would do, where I sit, even me recording this saying potentially that, I would post this. I don't mean to post this like to put down the friend, which is why I say friend. I post this because it's the decisions along the way, and if it's relevant, then it could be relevant someday, if that makes sense, like a documentary style thing. I don't know what delusions I have on my success, but yeah, if I was ever in a podcast, I think of myself on like say Diary of a CEO or something like that, Modern Wisdom or Jay Shetty's podcast, so and I don't, if they ask me questions and then they're like, oh well, back in the day, first of all, imagine if like back in the day when you did an OnlyFans, is that really like an example I want to be setting? No, because I intend on being the type of woman that is really powerful in a very good way, globally powerful and influential is what I mean. And if there's any attachment of OnlyFans, what OnlyFans in itself stands for next to my name, I don't know if that's promoting the right idea for other women around the world. And also my daughter one day, I don't ever want to do anything that I wouldn't be okay with my daughter doing. And it's something I'm still learning as I get older, but I don't want my daughter to be able to turn around and say, oh well, mom, you did this, and I see that happen, and I don't want that. And I don't want my son to have to deal with, oh well, your mom was this, I don't want people valuing my children less because of choices I made. Even if I keep my OnlyFans classier, right? Even if I would never, ever, ever show detail. I've never been that type of person. But like even lingerie pic, just, even if I was just beautifully, like even my poses and everything were elegant, the actual association of OnlyFans in itself, it would just tarnish me. My body is too recognizable given what I do and what I want to do. I'm in the fitness space, people would recognize me. My voice is recognizable. So given my brand, I choose not to. She told me she made £600, man, from one live stream. And it's things like that along the way where you just test it, because I know I could do it. My body's great. My body's amazing. I work so hard on it. It would make sense. I've always loved lingerie. I loved posing in it. I always wanted to be a model, right? Me when I was younger. It would be so, not easy in the sense like, you need to generate business. OnlyFans creators, you got to give them that. Like, they work incredibly hard to get that like traction. So in that sense, it wouldn't be easy. But in terms of the actual creative side of it, genuinely, I would love it. And it's so funny because one of my female colleagues at work who's a lot older than me was like, you'd be great. If I was your age, I'd do it. Da-da-da. I didn't even bring it up. She did. The option is there. But I don't say about that podcast and someone's like, oh, OnlyFans thing that you did back in the day. I wasn't that desperate. Do you know what I mean? For me. This is not me judging anybody else's situation and why they do it. But I have a brain. I have other resources that I can resort to, and it's hard as hell. That's why I'm going all in on YouTube. It's fucking hard. And I don't know if it's gonna work. And 6 months from now, I could be in a position where I'm like, wait, not even 6 months, Jesus, 4 months from now, I could still be wildly unsuccessful And I could be taking back everything I'm saying right now. I could do it. But whilst I have the option to not do it, I should not do it. When she told me 600, I immediately, I was like, what? And I just thought of the dopamine of that, receiving 600 that quickly for just existing sexily. It could be so addictive. I could see how it's like a gateway drug to other things. This is not me judging her, because everyone does what they want to do. You know, if it was my kid doing it, then I might have a thing with, you know, I'd have a few things to say. But this is just me, for me right now, in the position that I'm in. And I think it's also a privilege. I'm not going to speak on my friend's behalf, but for me, it's a privilege to be able to not do that. You know? I might change my mind. But in a way, I kind of hope I don't. It's also about who I give access to me in that way. I love posting a sexy pic with my little lingerie tops and all that on Instagram, and that's for me. I'm not getting paid anything. You know, even like the little, you know, people might be like, ooh, I wonder what's under, you know, they might go there, but it's not handed to them on a platter. And I like that. I like that I have the appeal and I enjoy this clothing and it's sexy and fun to me, but I'm not putting everything out there. And I understand the business side of it. You know, I could use that to promo and then have more on my OF. But again, I'm not in any need of that. And the less men in this world feel that they've claimed me, the better I feel. Because the thing is, for me as well, even though in my sex life, I'm not into like the waiting till marriage and just one person. I'm not built like that, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But that's my choice. That's my empowered choice. I choose. I want to sleep with this person. I don't want to sleep with this person. I'm going to go, sober for like celibate for 6 months or something because no one is matching my standards for that. No one is treating me with a decent amount of respect with that. That's fine. I do that. And I make choices that work for me. But if I'm just putting things there and I'm saying, oh, subscribe, I don't know who is viewing me and more importantly, viewing me to that extent. And if I want to become, especially a bigger figure in this world, and I want to go out there, I'm not going to know who's seen me like that. And when you pay for something, you feel like you're getting access to something, right? And I don't want people to feel like they own me in that way. I don't. And I could afford the freedom of I could afford them perhaps not feeling that way if I was anonymous, if I had a very under the radar job, if I was a regular Joe. But I want to be known for what it is that I do, a positive, big, beautiful thing in this world. And if I aspire to that, doing something like this where I don't know if this person who I need to work with has seen me in this way, like I don't want them to feel like they have that leverage and that claim over me. And even with I'd hope that my partner always supports me in what it is that I do, but I also want my partner to keep me in alignment with who I actually authentically am and my highest self and my best self and the version of me that I am going to respect the most as well. And I wouldn't, given that I would have a partner like that, I wouldn't want to put them in a position where they feel uncertain as well of if their guy friend is getting this, not the same access, but the similar access to me as they are themselves. And that's me. And the other side of it is also just my family. I'm sexy and I post what I post on Instagram for me. But going beyond that, especially when there's no real need to, like, okay, 600 pounds. Yes, there are certain goals financially that I want to achieve, man, and doing this would just help so much. But my whole family sacrificed so much, and they had so much integrity in what it is that they did and how they raised their kids. And for me to just then go and be like, oh, well, I'm gonna just give myself away in that way. Even if I'm charging, who gives a fuck? I shouldn't have my value shouldn't be monetary like that. And for me to just sort of, it feels like I would be sort of betraying my entire family. Not because this conversation has been had, not because anyone said, we haven't not even talked about it. That's how distant a concept this is in my household. But it just, for me, internally, I know the sacrifices. I know that I don't even know the whole extent of the sacrifices. Even thinking about it makes me emotional. I want to do right by them. Integrity and discipline is hard. And that's what it felt like, you know, when I'm in my head like 20 minutes ago and I was like back and forthing it. I was like, oh, am I being dumb? You know? But then I was like, no, this feeling of choosing not to do something even though it's tempting, it's discipline, because it's the same feeling of passing up that dessert when you don't need it, you know? As much as I can, I want to do right by my family. I want to do right by them. I want to build my wealth, you know, through genuine value as much as I can off of my brains rather than my body. And that's just me speaking for me. And the other thing is, I'd rather be somebody that is paid way more than £600 for an Instagram post where I'm choosing to put myself like that and I'm getting the payment, and I know that everybody that's seeing me could be a stranger, best friend, this, that, the other, but it's not like someone's paying to have access to me like that, if that makes sense. Not like that I'm some Netflix thing to subscribe to. Yeah. I would rather be like Kylie, for example. Not saying I could get to that level, but maybe, you never know. But I would rather be paid for the Instagram post than be advertising myself trying to get paid. Like, I want someone to be like, hey, please do this for us. We will pay this, as opposed to, I'm going to do this, please pay me. Long game. I don't want the hidden shit. If I was 16, if I was 21, maybe I would have been more tempted. But I've come so far, and I respect the work I put into myself. I mean, again, a few months from now, if I'm really fucking desperate, or if life really changes, then maybe I would change my mind. But I just think it would be a shame for me to do that to myself. I care more about my brand of Mahika and what it is I'm trying to build. Again, if I was doing some low-key job, if I'm not going to be seen out there in public, a different story. I'd probably, be on it. Probably faceless content. And obviously, again, nothing graphic. I'd be on it, sure. Side gig, why not? But because of what I want to do, this vision that I have for myself that is just so important to me, I can't do it. No matter how tempting it might be at times. I don't think I'd be able to live with myself. Yeah. Maybe I'll post this. Inner thoughts. If I do post it, let me know what you guys think. If you've been in a similar debate with yourself, what your reasons were for going ahead and your reasons for not going ahead. Let's try not to be judgmental. If I do post this, guys, let's try not to be judgmental. You don't know everybody's circumstances. That being said, if you want to have a judgment, because I don't want to like hinder people's honesty. This is an honest conversation. If I'm like, I don't judge at all, well then, you know, are we getting the full truth from people? Is that popcorn? What has been rotting? Oh dear God. Wow, wonderful, Mahika. Sometimes I eat in my desk. Like, then I'll have my food. Never mind, that's irrelevant. I have to leave in 10 minutes. Shit. Yeah, if we're starting a conversation, fine. If you want to have a judgment, like an opinion. But let's discuss things respectfully. You know, no need to be cursing or really putting people down. But yeah, that's it for me. I have to go. Just thought I'd talk about it. It would be easy. Like, it would be not the building of the brand, but it would be, it's the easy choice. Me being me, I'm choosing not to make it. I guess we'll see with time whether or not it was the right one.